Welcome back to Master Glass. Today we are going to experience the bittersweet world of Italian Amari, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they are and specifically how you get to pick the one you like the most. So Amari are bittersweet liqueurs traditionally from Italy that are made to help stimulate your digestion. Now they kind of also stimulate your appetite, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. It is typically a combination of alcohol, roots and bitters, a sweetener, and caramel coloring. Predominantly, that's what you will find in all of these Amari, except probably this one here that does not have the caramel coloring. The first Amaro was created over 2 centuries ago, and these recipes have been carefully guarded and literally transferred down from generation to generation. They are a sense of pride for the producers. Most producers won't tell us all the ingredients that are inside their Amari, but they will kind of tickle us or stimulate us with a few ingredients. Most of the times what you will find in these Amari are ingredients that are bitter, such as gentian or milk thistle, lavender, dandelion leaf, wormwood, and of course quinine. Now these bittering agents don't just give off that bitter flavor. Luckily for us, the alcohol actually also extracts some of their medicinal properties, which is why these products are praised for also helping us with our digestion. Well, they do so because they're bitterness flavors. When our tongue detests bitter flavors, it triggers a mechanism inside of our body that creates enzymes to protect ourselves from what it thinks is poison, despite the fact that there's no poison inside of these products. Now, with that creation of those enzymes, of course, it is also stimulating our digestion. So yes, these products actually do help with our digestion. Now, before I get too far, please leave in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite bitter flavor? Is it coffee? Is it dark chocolate? Is it maybe an herb or like arugula? Or what are your bitter flavors? Please let me know on the bottom, because of course, everything bitter is what I love to research. Most Amari will fall somewhere in between 16% alcohol by volume and 40%, which is yet another reason why some people have a really hard time understanding which brand they like. If they like something a little bit more boozy, well, of course, 40% is going to be closer to what they like. If it's 60, if they like something less boozy, then of course the lower ABV ones will do a better job. They also come in different styles and intensities, just like you would find in a beer. And the lack of information behind these styles is exactly what is hindering people from finding the Amaro that they like. If you visit the internet, you'll see that there's not many resources that will really help in aiding you on how to pick your Amaro. You'll see that they have categories listed such as carciofo, made with artichoke, or rabarbaro, made with rhubarb, or tartufo, made with black truffles, or quina, made with cinchona bark. This one is actually a legitimate style of Amaro, or alpine, flavored with alpine herbs. But these styles don't really help you understand which one you like, because they don't dictate the intensity. They just dictate one, and that's just one of the many ingredients that you might actually find within this bottle. Okay, so when you pick up a glass of Amaro, you're gonna have flavor components that will fall in only 3 categories. The first one is citrus, the second one is sweetness, and the third one is bitterness or herbaceousness. So because of these 3 flavor profiles, there are really only 2 styles of Amaro, and I like to call them the pastry style and the medicinal style. Those styles that have more citrus and sweetness and put the bitterness and the herbaceousness kind of in the real back are what I define pastry styles. And those styles that have more intensity, bitterness, or herbaceousness and put the sweetness kind of in the back, those are the ones that I like to call medicinal style. Okay, as far as the pastry style goes, from lighter to heavier, it's basically in the order that I have here: Montenegro, Nonino, Amaro Quintessenza, Amaro Averna, Ramazzotti, and Cynar. Now those that have more of those bitter and herbaceous flavor profiles, which of course I call medicinal style, are on this side of my bench and will range from bitterness from Fernet to Erborista to Braulio to Zucca to Cynar 70, from more bitter to less bitter. And of course, the more you get in the middle, you will find what is that more balanced style that kind of hits both of the notes in a perfect way. Okay, so here's what I recommend you do in order to pick the Amaro you like, because I am pretty sure that in between the lineup of all the wonderful Amari out there, that there is going to be one you like. Chances are in your city or in your town, there is going to be an Amaro-centric bar. Behind that Amaro-centric bar is probably a very knowledgeable bartender. But what I would do is I would just go ahead and order a glass of Lucano. Bring a friend, right? It's really good to maybe split the bill here if you're gonna be tasting a few of these, but order a glass of Lucano, and then you will see that it's gonna have that sweetness at the beginning and that bitterness at the end. Ask yourself if you liked the first part or the second part better. If you liked that sweetness, pastry, marzipan, almondy, sweet orange part of it better, then you're gonna wanna go this way, or you're gonna just wanna stick with Lucano. If you actually appreciated the bitterness side of it more, maybe there was that herbal, tobacco, licorice, woodsy flavor profile, then you're gonna wanna go this way. All right, so just in order of pastry all the way to medicinal, I'm gonna introduce you to Montenegro from Bologna, which is 23% alcohol by volume. The next one is Nonino Amaro Quintessenza. This is from the Friuli region. It is 35% alcohol by volume. Our next one here is gonna be Amaro Averna from Sicily. It comes at 29%. And then we have Amaro Ramazzotti from Milano, 30% alcohol by volume. And then we have Cynar Originale at 16.5% alcohol by volume. In the middle here we have Lucano, which is from Pisticci, Matera. It is 38% alcohol by volume. Next we have Cynar in its 70 proof, which means it's 35% alcohol by volume. See how it swings here and it goes from the very end of the pastry style all the way to the very beginning of the medicinal style. Very fascinating lineup here. Our next one here is Zucca Rabarbaro from Milano. It comes at 30% alcohol by volume. Then we have Braulio from Bormio, comes at 21%. Here we are starting to get very intensely in tune with that medicinal style. Our next one here is Erborista, Amaro dell'Erborista from Macerata at 21% alcohol by volume. And we're gonna end it with Fernet from Milan. This brand here is Fernet Vittone. It was the original brand that first created the Fernet category, and it comes from 40% alcohol by volume. Now you might ask me which one of these is my favorite Amaro, or of these Amari is my favorite Amaro. Actually, I really do enjoy Amari. They do have a different occasion for me. And of course, as a cocktail geek, which I am, they have different applications inside of cocktails. But when it comes to an Amaro just neat, I do favor the pastry style. And when you're drinking Amari in Italy, a lot of it also has to do with the flavors of your land. So there's that component of where does the Amaro come from? What is the main ingredient in it? And I really like an Amaro that is made on my little island called Amaro Rucolino, which I would like to show you. Here it is. So Amaro Rucolino is made from the island of Ischia, which again is where I grew up. It favors the arugula as its favorite predominant ingredient in it. So I will get that herbaceousness that comes from the arugula along with its bitter notes to it. Really lovely, really tasty, and salute. Like I said, I love them all, but this one here just hits home for me. Now, if you really enjoyed this episode, and if I did teach you something today about Amari, why don't you go ahead and give me a chance, hit like on the show, hit subscribe on my channel, and hit that bell so that you can get notified every time we come out with more expert instruction for everyday consumption.